What's going on, guys? Manchester United is versing Atalanta in the UEFA Champions League group stages. We're going to be talking about the comments that Gary Neville has made. We're going to be talking about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference, and we're going to be previewing the game. Stay tuned. Gary Neville was speaking on Monday Night Football about Manchester United, about the state of the team, the state of the squad, the football that's been played, and narrowing in with the Leicester game that we've just played, where we lost, and it was one of the worst performances we have seen this season. So he's speaking about a few things about Manchester United. Majority of the things that I disagree with what he said, and I'm sure you as well. You also disagreed with the things that he has said, but I'm just gonna he said I'm just gonna speak on one of the things that he has said that I feel that was alarming to me as a Manchester United supporter. You know, he said a few things. He said some things that he said basically he's not going to call Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to get sacked. He's not going to do that. He said he's never ever advocated for a manager to get sacked, and he's certainly not going to do it with someone that he's played with, a former teammate, a friend, and he said he really likes Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So he said he's not going to call for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to get sacked. But as fans, we are not asking Gary Neville, Rio Ferdinand, Scholes, Roy Keane. We are not asking these guys to call for Ole's head. We're not asking you to preach Ole Gunnar Solskjaer must get sacked. We're not asking you that. All we're asking from Gary Neville and co is to be objective of the manager's performances on a game-to-game basis. That's all we're asking. So we just played Leicester and we just lost to Leicester. Let's be objective, because these were the same guys that were objective against Mourinho. Gary Neville was saying things like Jose Mourinho has to win the Premier League. That's the type of pressure that they were putting on. They were saying the football is not as boring under Jose Mourinho and he's not getting the best out of the players. They were saying all these things under Jose, but now it's come to Ole and they can't be objective. So that's all I'm asking from them. I just want to see them be objective of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's performances against Leicester. Let's speak about what he got wrong. He got the calling of Maguire wrong. That's on him. The fact that we don't know how to press, that's on him. The fact that it's 3.5 seasons now and we still don't have an identity, a style of play, that's on him. Let's be objective about the manager's performances. That's all we're asking for. But instead, he said that he's not even going to do these type of things. And when you hear him speak, it's a lot on the players, it's a lot on the team, but he'll never ever point it back to the manager. And so that's one of the things that he has said, that he will never call out the manager. But let me read you a quote. For me, the most alarming thing that he did say on Monday Night Football concerning United. And this is the quote right here. He said, "I disagree with Jamie Carragher on the fact that if he does win the Europa League or FA Cup and gets top 4, I would say that's still building a successful team." I've got a huge problem with that, and I don't know if you have. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has spent 441 million. So we're saying 441 million later, 3.5 years later, and we must accept getting knocked out of the Champions League, because that's what Gary Neville said. He said that if we win the Europa this season and qualify top 4, he said that for him is building a successful team. So in other words, what he's saying is, he's saying that he doesn't mind us getting knocked out of the Champions League in a very easy group, let me say. A very easy group, a group that consists of Young Boys, Villarreal and Atalanta. 3 teams that we are bigger than. 3 teams that we've got better players than. 3 teams, not one of their players make it into our team. We bigger clubs than theirs. And he's saying that he doesn't mind getting knocked out by these teams, going into the Europa, winning the Europa, and he says he'll call that a success. 441 million later, we've given this manager 441 million, and we must go and get knocked out in the Europa, and at the end of the season we must go and get knocked out into the Europa. End of the season, it's a success. So you telling me you've got Varane, who has won 4 Champions Leagues. You've got Cristiano Ronaldo that has won 5 Champions Leagues. People refer to him as Mr. UCL. You've got these 2 players that have dominated Champions Leagues, and you telling me it's okay if we take them into the Europa. You telling me it's okay if we take them into the Europa and we make them go and compete in the Europa. That's what you're telling me. We've given this manager, last season we got knocked out into the Europa, and that for me is a sackable offense in and of itself. Clearly his friends in the media, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's friends in the media, does not think so. So we got knocked out into the Europa last season. So this season we've given him 3 players, Varane, Sancho, Ronaldo, and Gary Neville saying even with those 3 inclusions, even with improving our team massively, he's saying that he still doesn't mind getting knocked out again into the Europa. That's what he's saying. Furthermore, he says, okay, even if we win the FA Cup and top 4, that's acceptable. Once again, we've given the manager 441 million, and the only thing he can win is a FA Cup. If you need 441 million to win a FA Cup, you're one of the worst managers in the history of the game. Because you don't need to be the best team, you don't need to have the best players, you don't need to spend the most money to win a FA Cup. It's an FA Cup. Arsenal have won the FA Cup in recent history. Leicester City won the FA Cup last season. You do not need to be a top team to win the FA Cup. You don't need to spend any money to win the FA Cup. So you telling me this manager needs one of the greatest of all time players, Cristiano Ronaldo, to win a FA Cup? He can't win a league, he can't win a Champions League. He needs the GOAT to win a FA Cup. That's what you're telling me. You're one of the worst managers if that's the case. Cristiano Ronaldo did not come to Manchester United to win FA Cups. He did not come for that. He was winning those Coppa Italias, those small cups in Italy with Juventus last season. They sacked Pirlo. Pirlo won those few cups, those small cups in Italy. He won those small cups in Italy in his first season with minimum backing, financial backing, and they sacked him because that's not good enough. They want the league title. Ronaldo would have stayed there if we told him the only thing you can win here by us is a FA Cup. He did not come to win a FA Cup. He came to win titles, Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues. And Gary Neville says it's a success. With the people, with the players that we have, with the financial backing, 441 million, it's a success if we win the FA Cup and finish top 4. That's what he's saying. For me, guys, 441 million means something. It means you either win the Premier League or the Champions League. It is as simple as that. There were people that loved this manager, that were believing in this manager, that at the beginning they were comparing him to Jurgen Klopp. They were saying, look how long it took Jurgen Klopp to win, give him the same time. Do you know what, guys? In Jurgen Klopp's 3rd full season, he won the Champions League, and he did not spend 441 million. He did not spend the money that Oli has spent. So, and he did not sign the GOAT. He did not have the GOAT. So, this is Oli's 3rd full season. Some of you guys were comparing him to Klopp. The fullness of time has come now. I expect a Champions League or a Premier League. I'm being honest. I'm just being honest with you. 441 million later, 3.5 years later, I expect a Champions League or a Premier League. It's as simple as that. So, the excuses that these ex-players are making, clearly that they are supporting the manager over the club. This manager currently is holding Manchester United back, and they're supporting that. They are supporting that. So that's what Gary Neville had to say. Really damning comments that he's made. Clearly you can see where his allegiance is. Clearly you can see who he loves more. He loves Ole Gunnar Solskjaer more. He supports Ole Gunnar Solskjaer more than Manchester United. Because if you support Manchester United, and if you say no player is bigger than Man United, which is what they were saying with regards to Pogba, then no manager is bigger than Manchester United. No individual is bigger than an institution. If someone is failing, if someone is not doing their job to the best of their ability, not the best of their ability, to the best of what Manchester United requires, they need to get sacked. They need to get sacked. And so that's just the case with Oli, guys. Let's read some of his presser. He had a presser, and let's just read some of it. He says that he's speaking about the form that we are on, and he says every team will go through a patchy period. We are in one now. We know that. The coaching staff we have got is absolutely amazing. The attention to detail, training sessions, preparations, I don't think I could ask for more. Let me first say something about his first line that he says, every team will go through a patchy period, we are in one now. When you're expecting to challenge and win major trophies, there is no patchy period where you're losing games. There's a patchy period where you're not playing well. There's a patchy period where you may draw a few games, you lose the odd game. But not the games like Manchester United are losing. Not the points that we are dropping. This is not what you call a team that is supposedly ready to challenge and should be challenging. So that's the first thing. Manchester City and Liverpool, when they were rivaling each other for the Premier League and going for the Champions League, they did not have this patchy period. Manchester City had a patchy period last season. It was only them in the title race. They could afford to drop points at the beginning. Chelsea fell off, Liverpool fell off, Manchester United obviously we haven't challenged for a long time, so it was only Manchester City, and they went through that dry period in the beginning. But once the wheels started turning, they were more or less winning every game. When Manchester City and Liverpool were vying for the league for those two years, they were not dropping unnecessary points. They were consistent. Chelsea are not in a good moment at this present time. Guess what? They're still winning games. They're not performing well. But they're still getting results. They're still winning games. And that's the mark of a team that's ready to win silverware. We are not ready to win silverware when you're losing the amount of games that we have lost. Then he says, the coaching staff we have got is absolutely amazing. The attention to detail, training sessions, preparations, I don't think I could ask better. I think this guy is delusional, and this is one of the things that is going to get him sacked. He could have literally prolonged his stay at Manchester United, and he could have achieved some measure of success if he got the right coaches around him. He says his coaching staff is amazing. He says he applauds their attention to detail. He applauds their preparation. Clearly, it's not good enough if we still don't have a style of play and an identity after 3 seasons. Clearly, it's not good enough. But this is how this manager sees football, because he genuinely doesn't know any better. You listen to his press conferences and there's not any knowledge that you can get from him when he speaks. There's absolutely nothing. You know, they asked him the other week about his philosophy, and he went on to say that he doesn't worry about the intricacies of football. Football's about passion and desire. This is a manager of Manchester United. We're in 2021. And he says he doesn't have a philosophy. He says he just puts the boys out there and they must run more than the opponents. They must run more than the opponents, and they must show that they want to get their head on the end of a cross. That's what Manchester United's manager is saying. So those were his comments about the coaching staff. Then he went on to say also about the pressing, the lack of pressing that we have. He says that we have got about... Solskjaer speaks about Ronaldo's pressing. It says, we have got 11 players out there with different roles. We put a team out we think will win a game. If we don't win, there will always be criticism. He is doing everything he can to help the team. For me, guys, I've got a different opinion about this whole pressing with Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi have never pressed. Never. They don't press. They haven't been pressing for many years. For majority of their careers, they haven't been pressing. But guess what? Their team behind them still presses. Their team behind them still wins the ball higher up the field. Their team behind them still gets them the clean sheets. It's not an excuse. We know Ronaldo's not going to press. Gary Neville and co were telling us that even in the 08 when we won the Champions League, Ronaldo weren't pressing. When I've watched Ronaldo throughout his Madrid years, he wasn't pressing. I watched Lionel Messi throughout his Barcelona years, he wasn't pressing. But the team behind him was still pressing, and that's the balance that you need to get as a manager. Yes, Ronaldo's not going to press. I don't expect him to press. I've never expected him and Messi to press, because you know the business that they are on. You know that they reserve their energy for the big moments, and they always deliver. So I don't expect him to press, but just because Ronaldo's not pressing doesn't mean your team must be in disarray. Doesn't mean that your whole team now is disorganized because one player is not pressing. It doesn't mean that. The problem comes in with Man United is we've got Ronaldo that doesn't press, we've got Bruno Fernandes that doesn't, the whole team doesn't press, but specifically Ronaldo and Bruno Fernandes. These players are not pressing. Mason Greenwood, he's not pressing. Why is he not pressing? He's a 19-year-old boy. He's done nothing in the game of football. Why aren't you pressing? Why aren't you pressing? Why aren't you running and chasing down? Bruno Fernandes, why isn't Bruno Fernandes pressing? Paul Pogba, no one presses in our team. So it's not just Cristiano Ronaldo that people are focusing on. No one presses in the team. And that's the manager's issue, because clearly he's not setting him out to press. We're not a team that constantly pressurizes the opponents. We press in stages, same way that we play our football, in moments. I've never seen us constantly pressing the opponents when we don't have the ball. I've never seen that. And so that comes from the training ground. And pressing is one of the easiest things to coach. And after 3.5 years, and after 3.5 seasons, we still don't know how to press. We still don't know how to press. And that's down to the manager. It's down to the coaches. So stop just looking at Cristiano Ronaldo. Open your eyes and see Bruno Fernandes. See Mason Greenwood. See whoever the other winger is. See Paul Pogba. See everyone in the team is not pressing. It's not just Cristiano Ronaldo. And then the last thing that I want to speak about what he said. He said that we've progressed over the years. 6th in half season. 3rd, 2nd. You can see the progress. We have signed players which have raised expectations, but we are in the same boat as other top teams. Pressure on me, of course, but we have been through this before. So he's speaking about the progression that has been made. And he says that he's mentioning the league positions. Half the season when he first came, we finished 6th. The next season we finished 3rd. The next season we finished 2nd. So if he wants to speak about and point to the league table as progression, fair enough. If you're doing that now, you need to do it end of the season, big boy. And end of the season, last season you say we finished 2nd and that's progress. End of the season I expect a 1st place finish. That's as simple as that. If you want to point to the league table as progression, you need to keep that consistent train of thought, that consistent standard, that consistent principle, and come end of the season, keep that. Keep that, because progression end of the season is finishing 1st. After spending 441 million, you have to, guys. We have to win something big. It's as simple as that. Every other manager has done it. Why can't he do it? And if he can't do it, then he needs to get the sack. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. So I'm not making any excuses. This is his press conference. I've just read some key aspects of his press conference. That's what I expect this season, guys. And I'm not changing my expectations because of the quality of manager we have. No. My expectations will always be there because I'm a student of the game. And I see what other footballing teams get from their managers who are there 3.5 years. So that's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference, guys. Let's speak about the game quickly. We're playing Atalanta. Atalanta are a very attacking team. They put pressure high up the field. They want to win the ball back as high as they can. They will not come with a low block. They will attack us. I will be very surprised if Atalanta sets up with a low block or even a medium block. I expect them to high press. I expect them to be front-footed and attacking us. And that can play into our hands because primarily we are a counter-attacking team. Even though we haven't seen counter-attacking this season from us, we've seen absolutely nothing. But I do believe that they can play into our hands. And this is what I want to tell you guys, is that you see these teams we verse in Villarreal. Look, when we versed Villarreal the other game, Villarreal outplayed us, dominated us, outclassed us. They done all these things, yet we still beat them. Why? Because we've got the better players. Because these teams, their players need numerous amounts of chances to score a goal. Our players need one chance, one goal. And so when you have superior players to the opponent and far superior players to the opponent, you will get away with performing poorly. You will get away with being outperformed and still get a result. And that's what happened against Villarreal. And I expect the same thing to happen against Atalanta. Atalanta don't have a player that comes into our team. I expect Atalanta to create chances. I expect Atalanta to miss chances. I expect Man United to create one chance and kill them with one goal. That's just how it works. So I expect Man United to win this game. I do. And I'm confident we will because of the quality of players we have. But you see, on the weekend, we verse in Liverpool. And our players are not better than Liverpool's players. More or less, we're on the same level. And that's the defining area. That's now the dividing line where we see who's who. Because if you give Liverpool an opportunity, they kill you. So that's where now we will be able to judge ourselves. But against Atalanta, I expect us to win. Atalanta play with a back three. We cannot change. We have to continue with our formation 4 at the back. Obviously, this manager plays 4-2-3-1. I feel that Paul Pogba needs to play on the left wing because Atalanta do a lot of running. So I feel Paul Pogba needs to play on the left wing, and I think we have to go back to Scott McTominay and Fred. I don't like it, but I think we have to because of the lack of coaching. Our managers and our coaches can't coach these boys. So I actually think Paul Pogba needs to go on the left wing. Rashford needs to start on the bench. And well, we know the back line, guys. The back line, this is the team that I think we need to put out. Will be David De Gea in the nets. Aaron Wan-Bissaka right back. His ban has been appealed, so he's back now. Aaron Wan-Bissaka right back. Lindelof, Maguire, Luke Shaw, Scott McTominay, Fred, Paul Pogba on the left, Bruno in the 10, Greenwood on the right, and Ronaldo up front. I think we need to go with this team. I do think we need to go with this team. I will be very surprised if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer starts Marcus Rashford. I know Rashford is in the presser with him, but I'll be very surprised if he starts Rashford. Because I think Rashford is going to start against Liverpool. I think Ole wants Rashford to start against Liverpool. And I think Pogba is going to be benched against Liverpool. Ole was speaking about changes. What changes he's going to need to make after that Leicester game. I think one of the changes is Paul Pogba will start being benched, guys. And the last manager to bench Paul Pogba got the sack. That's all I'm going to say. So, guys, that's my match preview. I expect Man United to win. That's the team that I expect to play. And I would advocate to play. I expect us to get the victory. Atalanta will play better football than us. They are the better coached team. But we will beat them because of the personnel we have. So if you're watching this video and you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Smash the like button. I'll see you. Peace.